Hi, and welcome to Virtual Eats Guru, where barbecue and grilling is made tasty. And so today we have a real treat for you. It's one of my all-time favorites, which is smoked mac and cheese. And then we're actually going to take it up a notch and add some panko crusted bacon on the top of it. So, if you like this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate the support and supporting us here. And so, like I said, this is actually I do some different versions of this. But this is actually a buddy of mine's recipe that I'm going to use his as a base. And then, I don't know if you haven't ever seen Malcolm Reed's YouTube channel, it's really good. And this is different than his recipe, but I did see that he did a panko crusted bacon deal topping on top of it. So I'm going to copy that because that looks really good. So basically what we're going to do here, I've got 2 cans of the Campbell's cheddar cheese condensed soup. I've got Parmesan cheese here, and everything is in the detailed instructions are below. If you hit to show more, you'll be able to see the whole recipe and the process. But anyways, so this is a cup of Parmesan. You could do a cup and a half of Parmesan. I did a cup of Parmesan and then a half cup of this 3 cheese Italian, which has the Parmesan, asiago, and the romano. So just a little bit different flavors to kind of spice it up. And then, real important, the sharp cheddar, which is my favorite. This is a 2-cup bag right there. And then this other 2 cups we'll use to spread on top. So this will be part of the mixture, and then we'll have 2 more cups that goes on the top, and then a cup of whole milk. And then these will be the noodles I'm using, and they're 16-ounce bags. So I'll probably do both of those. I like the large elbows and the shells, and I want to kind of make a mixture to make it kind of cool. And so we'll see. I'm not sure that the cast iron pan will hold all of that, so I'll make it all and then just kind of do it by eye and see what it is, and maybe make a separate pot if I need to. And that's something else. At the very end of this video, I had to clean up my Dutch oven, my cast iron Dutch oven, because I'd left some previous stuff in it. And that I have to clean mine a lot because I use them so much, and I don't always take care of them right away. So anyways, if you want to see how a really good, easy method to not only clean them, but then re-cure cast iron, that's at the end of the video, and it works on any type of cast iron. So with that, I'll get to mixing this stuff up. And the only other thing I want to add is, because I'm going to be cooking this smoking at 250 degrees for about probably an hour or so, once we get that top doing what I want it to do, I'm going to add in my smoke tube. So that's an option you can do. You don't have to do it, but I do it on things like this sometimes because the only area that's really getting the smoke is the very top, and obviously not the sides or bottom. So I like to add in a little more smoke flavor, so I'll use the pellet tube to get that going. And so I'll show at the end of this video too, I'll show that too. I don't need to show it all the way through, because some people don't want to do it or don't have one. That's fine. But I'll definitely at the end talk through lighting those up and showing how they work and what they do and that kind of stuff. So with that, I'll get to mixing. Okay, so we're good and mixed up, and man, that's going to be really good inside there. I'm going to cook the noodles, and the way that I recommend it is do exactly whatever noodles you bought, or pasta. Make sure to follow whatever it says to boil them and that kind of stuff. And I hedge that I do it the minimum time required, because obviously we're going to be cooking it again, so you don't want them to be too mushy or that type of stuff, but you still don't want them undone. So I'm going to do basically exactly as it says, and cook them the minimum amount of time. And then we'll take those off. We'll mix them into here. And then I'll get the bacon going as well. I've got the cast iron curing right now, so once that's done, I'll do my bacon. And if you want, there's a video that you can look at where I do a Traeger bacon Bloody Mary really easy, but it shows the process for making the bacon and stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing. It's really not hard at all. So, but anyways, I do cook the bacon a little bit longer, and I want it crispy, because I don't want it chewy or anything like that. And then I'm actually going to chop it up into real small bits. You don't want it too thick or anything like that. But that's kind of a taste and preference deal. And then we use a half cup of panko with it mixed together, make that crumble on the top, and man, it's going to be good. Okay, so I'm good and mixed up in here, and it's worth noting, you know, the pasta I used comes in 16-ounce bags. You could get away with just doing one of those bags on its own, and that would be fine for this much. I mixed the bags evenly, basically, and I probably have about 20 ounces of pasta in here, so, you know, that's pretty easy to do. I just added a little bit more just because I got a pretty deep dish here, so, you know, I can do that. But you don't have to, but that's just kind of you know, what I did. Getting every bit of that cheesy goodness. Is that a little cheesy trend? Yeah. Oh, there we go. I guess that's true. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of spread this out and get it nice and evenly laid out and get the edges covered. And then we're gonna put 2 cups of cheese on top of this, and then we'll get our bacon and our panko mixed together and put that on top. This is hard not to eat just like this, Trent. I'm just saying. Like, don't you just want a spoonful of it right now? Bacon, huh? Taste test. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So one last step, then we'll be good to go. Alright, so we got the bacon basically just cut up, diced up, and then with the panko in there, 1/4 cup of panko pretty much. We're going to spread that on here, and then we're going to put on the grill. We got it set, the smoker set to 250. Going to smoke it for about an hour. I added on my pellet tube smoker as well, and that I lit it, took about 10-15 minutes for it to get going good, stacked up, and then just put it down, made sure that the fire stayed on. It did, and it's smoking. So, and then now with the grill on, it's probably been 20 minutes or so, so I've got some really good smoke going, and that's going to be great for this setup here. So we'll put the panko and bacon on top, and then we'll start cooking it. I don't know what awesome this is, but that's looking like it. Alright, so we smoked it at 250, and I actually checked it at about 40 minutes or so, and it was working good, but I decided to turn up the temperature a little bit, so I turned it up actually to like 350. And part of the reason I did that is because I know I have that smoke tube in there, so I don't have to worry about getting extra smoke, and I can turn up the temp. So I went ahead and did that, and came out just great. I actually did this one, it took me about an hour and 25 or so minutes. So for me, it's just once it starts bubbling up on the sides where you can see that the cheese is all melted underneath and the whole 9 yards. But man, it's looking good, smells good. So we're gonna give a taste test here and see how we did. It's still pretty warm. Look at that. Wow, that looks really good. It looks pretty hot. Yeah. How about you want to try this part?
Sure.
See if it's too hot or not. Yeah. Crust is the best. Let that cool a little bit.
Okay.
All right. You can try that one now. I think it's cooled off. Good.
Holy crap. That's so good.
Wow. That's really good. So, if you like this type of content, what do you do?
Subscribe.
Very good.
Oh, Elena.
That's why I love out because I saw the track pull up.
This is good.
How good is that? Right?
Look how much noodles I got.
Oh, big
like
noodles.
3 in 1.
so for our mac and cheese today, I need to use this Dutch oven, basically the base of it. And the last thing that I did in this was a cobbler, berry cobbler, more like a crumble. And so when you do that, you leave it in there for quite a while because you really can't move it out because it's just crumbled crust on top and then everything that's in it. And so it can make a mess out of your cast iron stuff. And I use cast iron a ton. And so, you know, I have to clean it and restore it quite a few times because I use it so much. And this one, you can see it's a pretty good mess. You know, so, but this is a really easy way to kind of restore it, and then we'll season it again. And if you're like me, we have a lot of folks over and things like that, so I don't always clean things right away, and that can create some of these issues too. But all we're going to use is smoking hot water. I'd recommend gloves if you got them of some sort because you want to keep the heat off your hands, and in some cases I'll actually may even use my hands to rub in some of the salt, but these brushes come in really handy. If you don't have one, it's a nylon brush, so it's not going to scratch anything or have any problems, but it's still stout enough to kind of, you know, get if you've got anything that's like crusty and stuck on. You can use a rag or a sponge or whatever you want to use too. It's not that big of a deal. The salt's going to do the work. So I use this Morton's kosher salt, and it's coarse, and it needs to be coarse. You don't want to use the table salt or anything else. You need those granulars because that's really what's going to, you know, work the material off of the cast iron itself and get rid of it. So it may take me, you know, once, but probably 2 or 3 times of doing this. And then as you rinse it out, you'll find spots that you didn't get, and you can kind of focus on those. But with that, I'll get after it, and I provided some pictures above about, you know, so you can kind of get an idea of how big of a mess this is. And I'll do the before and after, and I don't know, I might mess with the outside of this one before I do it, but it's not too bad. And then we'll take it out to the grill. I'll have the grill set on high, basically. I want it somewhere between 350 to 400 degrees. And we'll put, I use olive oil in it. We'll thinly put that on there, set it upside down, and basically cook it for, you know, probably 30 minutes to an hour, and we'll be good to go. And then we'll do our mac and cheese. So the water doesn't do much, but it's going to be a little bit of lubrication, and I left a little bit of it in there, not much, just to kind of help me with the salts and stuff. And you want to get a big thing of this, especially if you use cast iron a lot, and I do. And you'll go through a lot of salt doing this, but you know, it's really easy. And it really is good for your cast iron. So that's quite a bit in there. And I'm just going to start scrubbing away at it and get it going. And then I use this up on the edges. And see, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but it's already working away at that real quick. I'm going to add a little bit more water into it. But yeah, just from that, I mean, you can see the salt's already changing color, starting to pick up, you know, that other, the rusty stuff, if you will. So I'm working on this bottom, and then I'll work my way up to the top, to the edges. Okay, and like I said, for some of these edges up here, I'm actually going to use my hands on some of this. I want to get the salt up here, and then I'll come back with the brush, but I want to get that salt kind of ground in and up. And I'm probably going to clean it here in a second because you can see how dirty the salt's getting. So I want to get some clean salt in on this. Alright, so I'm going to clean my brush and change out my salt, and I'll put a picture up of that, and then we'll also, you know, I'm going to have to do it a few different times, but you'll get the idea. Alright, so we're going to go for round 2, and I grabbed a disposable sponge because basically I usually do this in the sink, so it's a little bit easier to manage and handle without making a mess everywhere. But the sponge will work for both sides of it. But we got a lot done on the bottom, and now I'm going to work on the edges and whatever I missed on the bottom. But it's looking a lot better than it did. But again, I'll add some water to it, throw a bunch more salt in it, get it packed up around the edges, and then start scrubbing away. Like I said, I leave a little bit of that water in there. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my brush. I'll start down at the bottom and then I'll work my way up the edges. That's taking it off nice and good. And just keep reapplying your salt. As you move through it, it kind of takes the salt off. Just keep on going back down and grabbing more salt. So now you can see the salt's not quite as dirty as it was, but it's still dirty, which is good. That means it's grabbing what we needed to grab, and we'll just keep on digging away at it. But I think I'm gonna have to fine touch a little bit after this, you know, just like some of the edges or whatever. But this pretty much has it to where we can start adding in some of the oil. All right, I'm gonna rinse this one, and then I'll give you a picture and show where we're at and see if we need to do any touch up. Okay, now that we got that taken care of, now I'm just gonna put some olive oil in it. I'm gonna use my hand, and I'll probably use this for the edges if I need to, just to kind of get it up on there. And then we'll throw it on the grill. Again, I got it on high. We'll put it on there for 30 minutes to an hour, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so I'm going to take it out the grill. I'm going to get rid of this excess oil, and then when I put it on the grill, I'm actually going to add some more oil on the whole thing. So I'll put another coat on the whole thing. That way the entire pan is coated in oil, so the whole thing can season. And that'll be it. Okay, so we're going to use this smoke dupe here, which I get on Amazon, as well as this torch here that's really awesome. But if you don't have these, they're really cool tools. And so this guy's pretty easy. We fill it full of whatever pellets that you want, whatever flavoring you want, and then light the top of it. Give it about 10 minutes once it's been lit, and once it's got a good fire going. Be careful, but set it down. I put mine over here in the corner basically to get the smoke going through, and it works just fine. So, but when you light it, put it in the center. I've put it on the side before, and it got knocked over one time, so I about had a fire. So it's important to kind of put it in a place that's located, or if it does fall or whatever, you're okay. And obviously today is a good day. There's no wind or rain or anything like that, so it's easy to do it here. Otherwise, I do it, in my garage or something like that, get it lit and then transport it out, that type of stuff. So, but pretty easy. Okay, I'm going to give that about 10 minutes to do what it does, and then I'll come back out and check it, and should be good to go.